With the announcement last year, Laminar Research is now in development with Xplane 12. The launch, well, let's just say we had been asking more questions and a little bit more skeptical what's going on with Xplane 12. Is it going to be that next gen sim we're looking for the replacement of Xplane 11, or is it going to be Xplane 11 with a few extra tricks? We've got you covered with all the development news this week, including all the new products releases, so let's jump into this week's video. Welcome to another Flight Simulator video. In these videos, we take a look at all the Flight Sim news and developments across different platforms. Today's platform is Xplane 12, but before we jump into this video, 74% of all Oz Flight Sim viewers that watch this channel are not subscribed. So if that's you, please hit that subscribe button. It's much appreciated, and the notification bell so that way you know when our next Flight Sim video goes live. And if you're already subscribed, thank you very much. Kicking off this week's previews and announcements, and the first one goes to the team over at Rotate as they showcase a teaser of the upcoming MD-11 for Xplane 11. This project has been in the works for a very long time now, and taking a quick look at this 1 minute teaser, it appears that the MD-11 is edging closer to a release. Originally announced by the Rotate team, this would be a study level aircraft, and from the looks of the teaser, they may come close to their prediction. No ETA on release date or a feature list yet, but I'm sure we'll be keeping a close eye on the development of the MD-11 from Rotate. Moving over to this week's releases and update, and the first one goes to the team over at Tolis this week, releasing another update for its A319, improving on the Airbus further along. Some of the major features have been updated are cockpit sound improvements. They've added a visible chocks, so you can actually see the chocks. They've added nav-A deselection capability to the MCDU. Wipers are now working again with deliberate effects, and also they improved the fault light logic. Some external light improvements have been added. They increase the ground cart pressure for better engine start performance. A bunch of other improvements have been included in the version of 1.6.4, but there's too many to list. They're just some of the highlights. Hotstart released another update for their newly released Challenger 650. It is now a version 1.10 is now available for download. This new update is quite large and adds a bunch of new features, including a bunch of more documentation and bug fixes in the 650. Some of the highlights are they've added a oxygen refill feature, added an oxygen service gauge, implemented fire extinguisher bottling service. That's absolutely insane. Replay supports the doors and the switches is now available. They've implemented gear pins, probe cover flags have been added, and animated window shades have been added, and they can be manipulated by dragging them around. Unless you've been living underneath a rock, Hotstart Challenger is one of the most complex biz jets on any sim on the market. Link in the description below so you can look at the full changelog of the Hotstart Challenger 650. And in another update release this week, this one goes to the team over at Any Simulations this week, drops a release another of the A300. This brings A300 to version 2.04 and includes a number of bug fixes and issues that have been reported by their customers. Some of the improvements are improved cabin EFB alignment, improved to the FMS behavior, improved cabin pressure, light panel click spots, engine fan blades and cargo containers have had some 3D modeling rework. The new update is available through the Any Builds Any Manager if you want to download that to get to version 2.4. Moving over to this week's development news, Xplane 12 was officially announced last September during Flight Sim Expo. This launch was a very raw look at the simulator, and it did not have any polished video cinematics that we have grown to see with other simulator announcements. What we do know that Xplane 12 will have a few new aircraft, including an A330, a new weather engine, a new look clouds, raindrop enhancements, a new wave generator, new airport ground textures, and trees have been overhauled with new visual assets such as sporting grounds and cemeteries. On paper, this seems to be a pretty good condition for a new flight sim, but let me draw you back to the release announcements, especially the release footage that didn't do the sim itself any favors. A few months have now passed since the announcement, and we are now getting a glimpse of what the potential of this new simulator. Just recently, out of nowhere, Laminar have released the specification required to run the sim. The recommended settings include a CPU Intel Core i5-8600K or a Ryzen 5 3500 or better. Memory is to be 16 to 24 gigabytes or more, so we might as well just say 16 and upwards. A DirectX 12 capability video card, AMD with at least 4 GB RAMs or GeForce GTX or better. You might say that the PC specifications don't mean a thing. There are too many variables to give a comparison, but another popular simulator, which is Microsoft Flight Simulator, some of the PC recommendations are very similar, which Microsoft Flight Simulator Intel Core was an i5-8400 or a Ryzen 5 1500X or better. Memory 16 GB RAM, a GPU X590 or a GTX 970 and above. And we all know how good Microsoft Flight Simulator graphics wise is, so it's very interesting to see that the comparison's a bit the same, or Xplane 12 is asking a little bit more when it comes to hardware. But then again, it's about 2 years difference. Interesting as it is. Last week, we were treated with a new Xplane 12 teaser trailer featuring the A330 in action. The trailer was just under 3 minutes, featuring plenty of views outside of the A330, which highlighted some of the model itself on display, which was PBR textures, numerous effects that we will see on the release. Other parts of the video, we've seen the engine start with the eCam panel, and with addition to plenty of in-cockpit footage, which is clearly easy to see the level of detail of the 3D modeling of the cockpit in the cabin is very, very high. A bunch of liveries were showcased and even a engine fire with smoke. This was much a better way of displaying what the sim could look like, with the team of Laminar using the professionals of the video gurus Aviation Labs instead of their own internal video team, which is a good move because their videos look a lot better. One thing that I did notice that the video was geared up for the A330. Most of the time, the in-flight footage was showcased above the clouds and didn't really see too much of the detail of the new global assets or the groundworks that the sim that we've been told has to offer. Hopefully we'll get to see more teasers featuring this down the line. If you want to check out the full video of the Xplane 12 A330, I'll leave a link in the description below of the Aviation Labs channel. You can check it out there. Xplane 12 is slowly in development and it's seen to be coming along. As we get more video footage such as this, we should be able to see how the development is steaming along, what features are going to be added and how good is it going to look, which is pretty cool when it comes to the world of next gen sims. Hopefully this pushes the others along and the others push the guys at Laminar to make an awesome simulator. If you got this far in the video, thank you very much. You guys are a bunch of legends. Please be sure to hit that like button if you did enjoy the video. And like I said before, 74% of all viewers that watch the Oz Flight Simulator channel are not subscribed. So if that's one of you, please hit that subscribe button. And that would be very much appreciated. If you want to stay up with Xplane 12 development news, we'll be making more video content around that. Please stick around as we have other flight sim video lined up for you. This one, I recommend it. So feel free to check that one out as well.